In December of 2014, I got a call from my dad. I don't think I've ever heard fear. I don't think I've ever heard sorrow or sadness in his voice. He has some bad news. He said, Titi's not with us. And I didn't know what that meant. I realized that he was telling me that my sister passed away. My name is Miko Branch, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Miss Jessie's, the hair care brand that I created with my beloved sister, Titi Branch. Titi was a fierce protector. Titi was a great big sister. Titi was fearless. She didn't go by the rules, wasn't scared to take a chance, and Titi was kind. My sister Titi and I lived together for practically all of our lives. We were latchkey kids together in Jamaica, Queens. We moved to Brooklyn together in our early 20s, and we felt most comfortable being together. We lived together all the way up until our 40s. At the same time that my sister and I were co-parenting for my son, I'm a single parent, we were actually forming Miss Jessie's. She was so many things to me, and I believe I was so many things to her. So I got a chance to see her in just many different phases of her life, in many different moods, her highs, her lows. And it wasn't until around her 30s that I realized that there was something that was off. I only realized it because she told me. She spoke very succinctly. And she told me very plain, I don't feel good. I was like, well, what's wrong? You know, mind you, Titi's the oldest sister, so Titi was always the strong sister. She was always the leader. She was always the one telling me, here's our agenda, here's what we're gonna do, here's how we're gonna do it. So for her to stop and tell me, Miko, I'm seeing in gray, it really stopped me in my tracks, and I realized that this was a real moment because she was always Superwoman. So seeing in gray, what that meant for Titi was she wasn't able to have clear, complete thoughts. She wasn't able to complete her projects, and there seemed to be a lot of confusion, and it scared her. Over the years, we started seeing more signs or symptoms of depression. There was one time where Titi, she just slept a lot. It's like almost like she was lifeless. She didn't have any energy. It was hard for her to stay up. And she was very weak, physically weak. So when Titi first realized that there was something off or something wrong in how she was processing things or in how she was feeling, I don't think she went out and got professional help, and she certainly wasn't taking any medication. But around 2007, she determined on her own that she was going to try medications. So although Titi's death was reported as a suicide, my family and I were just not clear that that's exactly what happened. And at the time, Titi was working very hard to have a baby. So that process kind of defies someone who would want to end their life. The list went on of all my wishes of what I should have done or what I could have done. But as I was going down my list, I realized, you know what? My sister knows I love her. Titi knew that on this earth, where she is in heaven right now, she knows it now. And because we had the opportunity to spend all that time together, there were so many more times that I had to look back on, and the moments of us loving each other, which far, outweighed any argument we had, any fight we had, any dispute we had, any disagreement. There was more love than there was anything else. I think mental illness is kind of like any other disease, in that it's a disease. Given there's not a lot of knowledge about mental illness and depression, I think there's a learning curve that's happening or that needs to happen when we're dealing with people who are suffering from mental illness or depression. And I think for that reason, many of us aren't able to really help the people we love. It'll take us a minute, but I think once we learn more about how mental illness works, I think we'll be able to fill in some of those blanks, and we'll be able to be more helpful to the people that we love.